I've done embarrassing things in my life and this is one of them. Hey guys, so thank you so much for tuning into this video. Today I have another story time because last week's video with the Tinder guys and all that, it actually got a little bit more views than the other videos I've been posting. So I just figured you guys probably enjoy this type of content, and today I have another juicy story for y'all. Y'all saw the title of the video. You guys know I asked a waiter for his number, which is pretty shocking to me because I never would have thought that I would do that, but I did, and it ended up being a not so great experience. So if you guys want to know all the tea, please keep on watching. So this whole story basically starts on Father's Day. I was leaving church and my parents hit me up and they're like, hey, do you want to go to Red Lobster? I was like, sure, I'll go to Red Lobster. I got there by myself because my parents didn't go to church with me, so I went by myself and I asked for a table and everything. And then the waitress came and she was like, what do you want to drink? So then I ordered and I was just sitting there and I saw a guy staring at me, and it was one of the waiters. At first I thought the reason why he was staring at me is because restaurants have those computers where the waiters go to and they plug in the orders. So I was like, those computers were facing me, so I was like, he's probably just staring at me because, I don't know, like the computer's facing me. And then my parents came and I was like, just talking to them because that's what you do at restaurants, you just talk to your family members. So then I glanced and he was staring at me again, but he wasn't even at the computer anymore. He was just like giving people their orders or something. And I thought it was really weird. I was like, okay, this guy is like hella staring at me. And he wasn't bad looking, like I thought he was cute. He was like a white guy though, and white guys aren't really my type, but I was like, okay, this guy's kind of staring at me and he's not like ugly, so yeah. I told my mom and I was like, this guy is staring at me, like I feel weirded out. And she was like, who? And I was like, I'm not gonna tell you because that's gonna be weird. And then like I just caught him staring at me again, like he was hella creeping on me, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then my mom was like, is it that guy? And I was like, yeah, why? And she was like, I can tell, he was like staring at you. And I was like, oh, that's ugly. And then when I got up and left, he was like, he saw me like walk away and he looked like hella sad. I was like, what? I swear I'm not making this up. I usually don't get checked out by guys, so I thought it was so weird. I was like, oh, like this guy's like checking me out. A few weeks later, so I was at church again, and then my mom and I usually go to eat after church, and she was like, where do you want to go eat? And I was like, Red Lobster. I was like, I want to see if that guy's there. And my mom was like, no, I don't really want that, I want Italian food. So basically I pulled up to the Italian restaurant. There was no cars at the parking lot. I like walked in and the door was unlocked and it was dark inside. I was like, what the heck is this? And then like the hostess came out. I was like, are y'all open? She was like, no. And in my mind I was like, then why the heck is the door unlocked? I called my mom and I was like, I told you they were closed. And then she was like, oh, then where do you want to go eat? And I was like, Red Lobster. So we ended up going to Red Lobster actually. As we were walking in, my mom was like, did you bring your mask? I was like, oh shoot, I forgot it. And then I like went to the car real quick to get my mask. And then I told my mom like we need to sit in the dining room instead of the bar because we usually sit at the bar. I was like, no, this time we're gonna sit at the dining room because that's his section and we might get his section. I don't know what was my game plan if I was sat in his section, but I don't freaking know. I walked in and she was at the bar. I was like, bruh, I literally told you that we need to sit at the dining room. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I was like, it's fine. I told my mom, I was like, bruh, like we could have been at the dining room. And she was like, well, he's probably not even here because there's not a lot of people here anyways. I swear, right as we were talking about him, but we were talking about it like in Spanish, I think. But we were talking about him and then like a minute or two passed and he walked past our table. And me and my mom looked at each other like, and my mom was like, yeah, I told you, you don't need to be looking for guys. They come to you. And I was like, oh, that's ugly. And then like we kind of ate and we left. Well, my mom went to the bathroom first and I was like standing there with my nephew, and then the guy came like towards me. And you know how the bathrooms at Red Lobster like are at the front of the restaurant? Well, we were just waiting at the front of the restaurant, like for my mom, and I guess he probably thought that we were waiting for a table, but like he walked up to us, but I think he saw that I had a to-go box and he realized that we were just probably waiting on someone. And he, as soon as he saw me, he was like staring at me, like he was hella staring at me. But we were both like staring at each other, like we were making hella eye contact. And then like I left, I was like, oh my gosh, mom, that guy was like, he was checking me out again. A few weeks later, my dad was gonna go on a trip, so I was like, before you go on your trip, take me to Red Lobster and I'll ask for his number. But I was joking. Like I always joke around like that, but you know how you're joking but you're kind of serious but you don't actually want to do something? So that's what I meant by that. And then like the day before my dad left, he was like, do you want to go to Red Lobster with me or not? And then I was like, okay, I will. And we went to Red Lobster, and guess whose section I sat at? They sat me at that guy's section. And I was like, oh my gosh. And my dad was just like, what? But it was weird this time because that guy was actually a bad waiter. Well, I don't know if it was him, but like it probably wasn't, but just like the food was taking too long, and sometimes he wouldn't come by to check on us. And there was like this table full of girls and they were like really flirting with him. And then like towards the end, my dad was like, so are you gonna get his number or not? Because you've been talking about this. And I had been bugging him about it. I was like, I want to get that guy's number. But I was kind of low-key joking. But my dad took everything I say, my dad takes it so seriously. So my dad was like, well, I just came here because you wanted to get his number, so I'm gonna go to the restroom and you can get it or something. And I was like, oh, this is so embarrassing. But then the guy came and like my dad wasn't there, but he took a long time to come. I was like, oh my gosh, what if my dad gets here and like I never asked him for his number? So he like came and I was like, I don't mean to be too forward, but can I get your number? And oh, that was so embarrassing. And I thought he was gonna be like chill about it because like when you see him, you would think like he's in his early 20s, but for some reason he asked, he was like, are you over the age of 18? And I was like, that's freaking weird. Like, that's just not something you say. I mean, it is something you say, but I thought it was kind of weird for him to be like so focused on age. But I was like, I'm 18. So actually I'm about to turn 19, but I was like, yeah, I'm 18. I'm over the age. And he was like, well, just write it down. And I was like, oh, his personality is like kind of weird, but I just like forgot about that. I was like, I'm just gonna look past that. And then like he like left me his number, and then he was like, write down your number here. I was like, I already wrote it down on a napkin. And he was like, okay, that's perfect. And he was like, so what's your name? And I was like, Jahara. I was like, it's just a very foreign name. I'm so sorry. I was telling him about how I'm Mexican because my name is freaking weird. And then he was like, oh, I've been to Mexico before. And then he started listing all these places that he's been to in Mexico. And he was like, and I speak a little bit of Spanish too. And I was like, okay, whatever you say. He was like, well, I hope to hear from you very soon. And I was like, okay. So then I went back to my house, and then I like FaceTime my cousin. I was like, oh my gosh, I got that guy's number. No one believed me. Nobody believed me at all. My mom didn't believe me. My cousin didn't believe me. And I was like, bruh, I'm not joking. I got this guy's number. But I kind of regretted it because I just felt so desperate. But I just wanted to try it out because I've never asked a guy for his number or anything like that. Well, I've asked guys for their numbers, but those were Tinder guys, so they were the ones who like hit me up first, and then we talked a little bit, and then I asked for their numbers. So I don't think that really counts. I flat out asked a whole stranger for his number. Then when I was on FaceTime with my cousin, I asked her, I was like, should I like hit him up or... And then she was like, sure. And I was like, well, yeah, that makes sense, right? Because I'm the one who asked for his number. I should hit him up first. So then I texted him, hey, and then he said, hey, like really quickly. And we just had a bunch of small talk. You know how that guy said he could speak Spanish? He flat out lied. So let's just, I don't want to give out his real name, but let's just say his name is Steve or something. He was like, Mi llamo es Steve. And I was like, what? What are you trying to say? He should have, I get he was trying to say either Me llamo Steve or Mi nombre es Steve, but he literally said Mi llamo es Steve. I was like, bro, that is not even how you talk. He lied. And back at the restaurant, he was like, guess how old I am? And then I said mid-20s, and he was like, yeah. You know how old this guy is? He's freaking 27. 27, 27 is not mid-20s. That guy lied. Mid-20s would be like 24 to 26, but once you hit like 27, that is straight up late 20s. So when he said mid-20s, I thought he was probably 24 or something. The oldest guy I dated was 24, I think. So yeah, I think I draw the line at 24. After 24, you're done. He kind of had a unique name, so I found him on Facebook, and his pictures, like, he was one of those guys who always post on their status and they always share stuff. Like, people like that, I'm sorry, I come off really judgmental, but I don't really care. People that, well, especially guys, when girls do this, it's like, okay, like, I don't care. But when guys do this, it's kind of weird. Like, when guys keep sharing stuff and sharing stuff and sharing stuff and posting on their statuses, I think that's kind of weird. And I don't know why, but that's kind of like a turnoff for me. Like, if you constantly share stuff. So then I looked at his pictures, and he did not look good. Like, he didn't look good in pictures. He wasn't photogenic. So my cousin was like, let me see a picture of him. You know when you like a guy and your friends ask for a picture of him, but you look him up and you're like, he actually looks ugly in pictures. So that was me. I was like, I literally don't want to show you what he looks like. Like, this is embarrassing for me. Yes, I know I come off as a villain in this story, but I don't really care. When he told me he was 27, I was like, oh shoot, bro, this is bad. And I was like, what do I do? Like, I was asking my cousin, I was like, what do I do? He's way too old for me. But I feel bad because I asked him for his number. I don't want to like waste his time or anything. We came to a conclusion that I should be like, oh my gosh, I thought you were younger, but we can be friends. Like, that's literally what I said to him. Because I genuinely thought he was probably 25 because he said he was in his mid-20s. Mid-20s means middle. The middle of 20s is 25. I thought you were 25. You're 27. Yeah, I was like, I thought you were younger, but we can still be friends. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. And I was like, please ghost me, please ghost me, please ghost me. Usually when I'm talking to guys, I get mad when they ghost me. But in this situation, I was like, I pray that this guy ghosts me. Like, I feel so uncomfortable. I didn't know he was almost 30. And I just felt like weird inside. And then my cousin was like, that's probably why he kept on asking you for your age. Like, I swear guys, back at the restaurant, he tried to ID me. He was like, I need to see some ID. And then when I texted him, he was like, yeah, I still need to see some ID. And I was weirded out by that until he told me he was 27. Usually guys in their early 20s, they don't really think like that. Like, if they see a girl who seems like she's grown, like me, I'm not the most mature, but you see me, like, when you see me, you think of an adult. Like, I don't have, like, a baby face or anything. So I was like, I look like an adult, like, physically, so why is he pressing me for an ID? I thought that was weird. But he has probably been through some stuff, and that's why he IDs girls or something. I really don't know. And then, like, we were kind of talking about jobs or something, and then I sent the last text that night. And then lo and behold, the next day he didn't text me back, and he has never texted me back since. And I am entirely grateful for that. You have no idea. I was like, oh, this is so cringy. So basically, I'm never going back to Red Lobster, and I'm never asking a guy for his number ever again. I mean, if other girls want to ask for a guy's number, that's completely fine. Like, I won't judge. But personally, for me, that's not something I would ever do again, because that is just too embarrassing for me. I thought he had like genuine interest in me because he kept on checking me out. But then when I asked like for his number, he was all like, oh, how old are you? I was like, you're the one who started checking me out, but whatever. So guys, that was the story of how I asked the waiter for his number. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I know I probably come off as a bad person in this story because, you know, I asked for his number and then I was like, oh, let's just be friends. But at least I didn't lead him on. Like, I don't believe in like leading someone on. Like, if I want them to be just friends, like, I will tell them like at the moment I decide that. I won't be like, yeah, I really, really like you, and then I don't actually like them. Like, I used to be like that, but now, like, I cut that off because when people do that to me, I get really, really irritated. So yeah, moral of the story is, if you're me, don't ask a guy for his number. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time, and I will see you on the next one. If you like this video, give it a like. If you want to comment on it, leave a comment. And yeah, thank you so much. Bye.